Combative, smug, and partisan, he sought every opportunity to take cheap shots at his opponents.
That guy's never shut his mouth in his life.
You will pay. You're not changing the subject. I know you want to change the subject.
Significant increases in the effective retirement age.
The easy version on Pierre Poilievre is that he's the Donald Trump of the North.
We want those great Canadian truckers to know that we are with them all the way.
I'm proud of the truckers, and I stand with them.
Page, can you give me a page? Give me the page. You keep saying that.
Will you dismantle Pharmacare?
Thank you very much.
Will you dismantle Pharmacare if you are... Will you not answer more of our questions?
Pierre Poilievre. Who is he? What's he planning for Canada? Poilievre has been in Parliament for 20 years, a career politician who used his position to get rich. That's why he's pushing an agenda to help rich people like himself and hurt everyday Canadians. When it comes to pensions, he's in a class of his own. Literally. Even the comedians got in on the act.
Very few Canadians qualify for a full pension at the age of 31. Well, in fact, there really is only one. And that man, Pierre Poilievre.
Am I paying for that?
Yes, you were. Pierre Poilievre, one hell of a guy. One heck of a pension.
Accountants looked into Poilievre's pension and discovered that it is worth $3.4 million.
Poilievre qualified for his pension after just 6 years as an MP, paid for by taxpayers.
So, what are his policies on pensions for Canadians, the people who will pay for his gold-plated retirement?
Significant increases in the effective retirement age are required to increase to 67.
Poilievre voted to increase the retirement age to 67 for Canadians, while he can collect a taxpayer-funded pension at 55.
Poilievre voted against raising Canada Pension Plan benefits. CPP payments average only $815. Poilievre's personal pension will pay more than 20 times the average CPP benefit, over $16,000 every month.
Poilievre fights against better pensions for Canadians, but he's certainly getting his.
That's why I welcome every single time they talk about my experience in government is doing the exact same things that I would like to do in the future.
Poilievre voted against raising the minimum wage. Then he voted to give government the power to eliminate sick leave for workers.
In 2024, Poilievre voted against raising the taxes for the richest 0.3%.
He voted against closing tax loopholes for the wealthy. Poilievre's so committed to helping the rich, he even voted against luxury tax on yachts. What about housing?
Last time Poilievre and the Conservative Party was in power, 800,000 affordable homes were lost.
For part of that time, he was the minister in charge of housing. Now he is planning to abolish housing programs that will build hundreds of thousands of homes across Canada.
I think it's just partisan policy and partisan politics, and it's municipalities that are going to pay the price for it.
Wonder why Poilievre doesn't understand the housing challenges people around the world are facing? Parliamentary records show that he and his family are residential landlords.
You co-own a real estate investment firm in Calgary, and your wife also owns a rental property in Ottawa that she doesn't live in. Economists have warned Canadians against using equity in their homes as an ATM, and your wife last summer took out a $425,000 mortgage on her rental property. That's nearly twice what she paid for it. Why did she decide to do that?
Well, she followed all of the rules.
Poilievre is a rich landlord. Where does he live?
Pierre Poilievre owns a house less than 25 minutes from Parliament. But when he became party leader, he moved out of his family home and into a 10,000 square foot government-owned mansion worth $4.5 million. Along with a personal chef, housekeeper, and groundskeeper, all paid for by taxpayers.
Poilievre, a landlord living in a mansion paid for by taxpayers and voting against new housing for Canadians. It's a similar story on healthcare. For 20 years, Poilievre received subsidized dental care. Subsidized by taxpayers, that is.
In 2022, Poilievre and the Conservatives voted against dental care for children and seniors. Today, the plan is rolling out and 2.7 million Canadians have been approved for care.
Est-ce que vous gardez ou pas, là? Assurance dentaire, gardez-vous ça? Ça n'existe pas.
Poilievre is lying. The plan does exist and is helping millions of children and seniors today. But Poilievre says he will kill the program and turn his back on these Canadians, even as he keeps taxpayer-financed dental care for himself. How about Pharmacare? Here again, Poilievre's medication is subsidized by taxpayers.
Canada's Pharmacare bill has now become law.
Pharmacare will start out covering insulin drugs for diabetics, a rapidly escalating cost for many patients. The new law will also provide free contraception for women.
This has been something that we have been advocating for a number of years. This really is a part of gender equity and reproductive rights.
Pharmacare would also let government negotiate prices in bulk, saving money and reducing costs.
Awesome. Will you dismantle Pharmacare?
Thank you very much.
Will you dismantle Pharmacare if you are... Will you not answer more of our questions?
Ça n'existe pas encore.
Finally, Poilievre admitted that he wants to cut the Pharmacare plan. But why fight so hard against something supported by 87% of Canadians?
Several executives and dozens of lobbyists have attended conservative fundraisers headlined by Poilievre. There have been more than 50 of these events since 2022, including at homes in some of the wealthiest neighborhoods in Montreal and Toronto.
Once the Pharmacare legislation was announced, Poilievre and his team met with dozens of executives from pharmaceutical and insurance lobby groups.
Poilievre and Pharmacare. Taxpayer coverage for him and high out-of-pocket costs for Canadians.
You will pay.
Poilievre is looking out for rich people like himself.
Is doing the exact same things that I would like to do in the future.
Tax breaks and secret deals for the wealthy, while denying benefits to everyone else. Poilievre lives in a huge government mansion, but fights against plans to build more housing for everyday Canadian families. Canadian taxpayers bankroll his dental and drug benefits. But Poilievre wants to withhold those same benefits from you. Taxpayers fund his lavish multi-million-dollar pension. But Poilievre fights against pensions that help Canadians.
Significant increases in the effective retirement age.
He's a weasel.
He's a career politician who used his position to get rich and is now protecting people like himself. That's Poilievre, but it's just not Canada.